Welcome back to the deep dive. I want to start with something I think a lot of us just accept as normal, that exhausting cycle of living with headaches. You just
hmm
treat them like this inevitable nuisance, right? Grab a pill, try to power through. But for a lot of you listening, I bet that cycle is starting to break down.
Yeah.
You're looking for other, more powerful
Yeah,
options.
you're hitting a wall.
Exactly. So today we are deep diving into one of the oldest and increasingly validated tools for pain management, acupuncture for headaches. And we're going to be looking specifically at the approach of a clinic called KimAcupuncture.
And we've pulled together a really fascinating mix of sources for this. This isn't just about testimonials. We've got solid clinical research here, plus guidance from really trusted names like Johns Hopkins Medicine.
Okay.
And we've kind of synthesized that scientific data with these really concrete, real-world patient stories from the Kim Acupuncture materials.
So our mission today is to basically give you a shortcut. We want to understand how this, ancient technique actually creates a measurable modern physiological change.
Right?
Why are these huge institutions finally acknowledging its value?
hmm
And most importantly, we want to look at some real examples of people who found relief where, frankly, other methods just failed them.
hmm
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. What is acupuncture, really? Beyond just, sticking needles in people.
Well, at its core, it's an ancient Chinese medical practice that's all about restoring balance. It involves placing these incredibly fine needles at very specific anatomical points on the body. We call them acupoints.
Right.
The traditional view, the one that's thousands of years old, is all about optimizing the flow of life energy, which is known as qi or qi.
And the concept qi, balancing energy flow.
Yeah.
That can sound a little ethereal, for listeners who are steeped in Western medicine.
Oh, absolutely.
So if we look at this through a modern scientific lens,
Mhm.
what is actually happening in the body when those needles go in?
It's not magic. It's really just biochemistry. Modern research suggests that the needle acts like a sophisticated circuit breaker.
Okay.
When it's inserted, it activates sensory neurons. Those send signals directly to the central nervous system up to the brainstem, and that action, it does more than just treat the local pain. It overrides the chronic pain signals, and this is critical. It floods the system with powerful natural opioids.
So your body's own painkillers,
Yeah.
endorphins.
Exactly. Your body's own internal morphine.
That makes the mechanism so much clearer. You're leveraging the body's built-in pharmacy in a way.
That's a great way to put it.
But you mentioned something about long-term relief. I mean, how does poking a needle in someone's hand actually affect their circulation up in their head? That still sounds like a bit of a stretch.
It's a crucial connection. The research shows this nervous system activation doesn't just give you that immediate pain relief. It also modulates the immune system, and it increases local blood flow and circulation in the targeted areas. So for chronic pain, like a persistent tension headache, inflammation is often a huge driver. By improving circulation, you're helping to flush out those inflammatory byproducts. And that is the key to lasting relief, not just, masking the symptom for a few hours.
And that depth really explains why this isn't some fringe idea anymore. We're seeing major institutions, like you said, Johns Hopkins, the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, nice E, they're all giving it the nod.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be real, if it's that effective, why isn't this the standard, first line of defense for everybody?
That's a fair question. I think the main limitation has been consistency in research. It's just hard to standardize. But the recognition is there specifically because the evidence for chronic conditions like tension headaches and migraines is so strong.
So it's a tool in the
A
toolbox.
powerful one. They see it as a great complementary or alternative option, especially since it often outperforms a placebo and can be more effective than conventional treatments, but with, way fewer side effects.
Fewer side effects is huge. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room then. The needle. I have to admit, just hearing the word needle still makes me wince a little bit.
Most people feel that way.
Even if they are hair thin, is it painful? And who is this for, really?
A skilled, licensed practitioner makes sure the process is comfortable. You might feel a very brief, sort of dull ache or a tingling sensation right when the needle hits the point.
Okay.
That's often described as the qi being activated, but it should never be a sharp pain. And as for safety, sterile single-use needles are the standard, so it's incredibly safe.
And who is it for?
Honestly, it's for anyone seeking a holistic path. It doesn't matter what your belief system is. You're coming for the results, not to, sign up for a new philosophy.
Right, the result to the point. Okay, before we move on, here's a little action item you can try right now if you're listening and feeling some tension. One source highlighted a really powerful acupoint called HGGU. That's LI4.
A great one.
It's in that web of flesh. between your thumb and index finger. If you just apply some firm pressure there, maybe with your nail or the tip of a pen, that simple pressure can help ease overall tension.
Yeah, and that simple technique lines up perfectly with the other advice in the sources, like drinking plenty of water to get oxygen flowing to the brain and maybe taking a break from smoking, which can seriously cut down on headaches.
Good habits. Good. Okay, let's transition. We use the word headache as this kind of catch-all term, but the type of headache is absolutely critical, right? Because that determines the root cause and the whole treatment strategy.
You have to be precise, absolutely. The approach for mild tension headache is, worlds away from what you'd need for a debilitating migraine.
Johns Hopkins really clarifies the main categories. Most of us are familiar with a tension headache. It feels less like pain and more like a tight band of ice squeezing your head.
When you've got migraines, and these are so much more systemic, you get that throbbing pain, usually just on one side, often with nausea, and that intense sensitivity to light and sound. These are neurological events, not just simple pain.
And then there are the ones that sound truly awful, cluster headaches.
Oh, they're torturous. Intense, piercing, rapid-fire bursts of pain, usually focused right around one eye, just absolutely debilitating.
Wow.
But there is a fourth type we really have to highlight, the cervicogenic headache.
Okay, what's that?
Well, if you've ever had a migraine that painkillers just don't seem to touch, and it gets way worse when you turn your head, like, backing out of the driveway, that's often your neck talking. The pain actually starts in the cervical spine, in your neck, from misalignment or bad posture, and then it radiates forward so you feel it in your head.
So it's musculoskeletal pain masquerading as head pain.
Exactly.
And that distinction is so important. It leads us right into the philosophy we saw highlighted in the Source Clinic, which is that the approach has to be focused on the root cause.
Precisely. This is what they call the detective work for headaches. For one person, the root cause is pure stress causing muscle tightness. For another, it's scar tissue in the neck from an old car accident.
Right.
Dr. Kim's approach is personalized, which means they're treating the source of the distress, the imbalance, not just chasing the pain signal every time it flares up.
Okay, so let's put the science aside for a second and look at the payoff. What have people actually experienced with this root cause approach at KimAcupuncture? The testimonials are striking just because of the sheer variety of problems they fixed.
Yeah, these stories really confirm that when you address the root cause, you get results, even when conventional medicine has kind of hit a dead end. Look at Christina and Samuel. Both were struggling with those confusing cervicogenic headaches, the ones coming from the neck. Christina had a complete recovery in just 5 sessions, Samuel in 7.
And what's key there, I guess, is that the treatment must have been targeting the underlying neck tension or nerve irritation, not just the head pain.
Exactly. You're not masking the pain, you're removing the source. Now think about Maria. She had severe post-surgical headaches after a really tough neck disc surgery.
Okay.
She was completely healed in 2 weeks of acupuncture. And this is amazing because it shows acupuncture wasn't just dulling pain, it was actually accelerating the healing, improving circulation to the damaged tissues, and giving her a path away from relying on painkillers.
That's a huge deal, that healing acceleration.
Yeah.
Then there was Adrian, whose headaches were tied to vertigo.
Adrian's case is a perfect illustration of how interconnected the body is. The treatments went after the root cause, the vertigo. And once that inner ear and balance system stabilized, the headaches just vanished.
Wow. So treating something that seems totally unrelated can fix the main problem.
Yes. But Melody's story might be the most important takeaway for a lot of listeners.
Why is that?
Well, she first came in for these crippling, stress-induced tension headaches. But she found such profound relief, and her general well-being improved so much that she now goes for bi-weekly sessions just for overall wellness and energy maintenance.
So it became preventative for her.
Exactly. It's not only about fixing existing pain. It can be a proactive maintenance tool for stabilizing your stress response and just your overall health.
So if we put this all side by side, how does acupuncture really stack up against what most of us reach for? Ibuprofen, those triptan drugs for migraines or daily preventative meds. Is it like comparing apples and oranges?
It's like comparing different philosophies entirely. Conventional medicine is mostly about symptom reduction, blocking pain signals, reducing inflammation.
Right, quick relief.
Quick relief is its strength, absolutely. But it comes with the risk of side effects and, crucially, the potential for long-term rebound or medication overuse headaches.
Tell us more about those rebound headaches. That sounds like a really vicious cycle.
It is a terrible cycle. When you constantly take a drug that blocks pain signals, your nervous system actually adapts. It becomes hypersensitized to pain to compensate.
Oh, why?
So when the drug wears off, the pain comes roaring back, maybe even worse than before, which forces you to take more medication. Acupuncture avoids that by trying to recalibrate your body's baseline, not just dull the signal.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So acupuncture is the holistic approach aimed at restoring balance, which is why it takes some commitment. You need a series of sessions, not just one pill.
It's about cumulative healing, exactly. And that really highlights the power of integration. Acupuncture isn't sold as some magic bullet. It works best when it's integrated with a healthy lifestyle and, conventional medical treatments when needed. It's about finding the right combination for you.
And since lifestyle is so critical, let's bring in that practical advice we found. If a listener decides to start this journey, what are some of the key lifestyle changes they need to make so the acupuncture can work its best?
The biggest focus is on protecting the body's structure, especially if the pain is coming from the neck. That means really focusing on posture correction. And light exercises are great. Walking for less than 30 minutes is highly recommended to support circulation, but crucially, they caution against anything that stresses the neck or joints during treatment.
Like what?
No heavy lifting, no extreme stretching, and avoiding jarring, impactful activities like golf or pickleball. Those can just irritate the nerves and undermine the whole treatment.
That makes so much sense. And beyond just headaches, what other common conditions does this mechanism seem to help with?
Oh, the benefits extend far beyond the head. It's commonly and very successfully used for other chronic pain like back pain, neck pain, osteoarthritis. It's also really well known for its calming effect. So reducing stress and anxiety, improving sleep for people with insomnia, and even relieving nausea, especially for patients who are going through chemotherapy.
We have covered a massive amount of ground here. We've gone from the, subtle mechanics of how an ancient practice taps into modern biochemistry. We've defined the different headache types, and we've reviewed these really inspiring success stories that offer genuine hope.
And if we connect all that back to the bigger picture, to that idea of systemic balance, it raises a really important question for you to think about.
Okay.
If acupuncture is this effective for physical pain, for physiological issues like headaches, could that same mechanism, that ability to rebalance the nervous system, also help with chronic emotional or mental stress?
Huh. That is a powerful thought. Is there any research that's starting to support that connection?
There is. There's a growing body of evidence that suggests really positive effects on mood regulation, generalized anxiety, and chronic sleep problems. It's an area that's definitely ripe for more exploration as we all look for more balanced ways to manage the pressure of modern life.
Absolutely. Well, we hope this has empowered you to maybe consider exploring personalized acupuncture care for yourself and just transforming the way you approach your own health. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing and those systems balanced.